The Lord has Moses and Aaron to speak to the Israelites and say to them, when any man has a bodily discharge, the discharge is unclean, whether it continues flowing from his body or is blocked. It will make him unclean. This is how his discharge will bring about uncleanness. Any bed the man with the discharge lies on will be unclean. Anything he sits on will be unclean. Anyone who touches the bed must wash his clothes and bathe with waters, and he will be unclean until evening. Whoever sits on anything that the man with a discharge sat on must wash his clothes and bathe with waters, and he will be unclean till the evening. Whoever touches the man who has discharged must wash his clothes and bathes with waters, and he will be unclean till evening. If the man with the discharge spits on someone who is unclean, the person must wash his clothes and bathes with water, and he will be unclean till evening. Everything the man sat on when riding will be unclean, and whoever touches any of the things or under him will be unclean till evening. Whoever picks up those things must wash his clothes and bathe with water, and he will be unclean till evening. Anyone the man with the discharge touches without rinsing his hand with the waters must wash his clothes and bathe with water, and he will be unclean till evening. A clay pot that man touches must be broken, and any wooden articles is to be rinsed with water. When a man is cleansed from his discharges, he is counted off 7 days for his ceremonial cleansing. He must wash his clothes and bathe himself with fresh waters, and he will clean. On the 8th day, he must take 2 doves or 2 young pigeons and come before the Lord to the entrance to the tent of meeting and give them to the priest. The priest is to sacrifice them, one for sin offerings and the other for burnt offering. In this way, he will make atonement before the Lord for the man because of his discharge. When a man has an emission of semen, he must bathe his whole body with the waters, and he will be unclean till evening. Anything of leathers that has semen on it must be washed with the waters, and it will under When a woman has regular flows of blood, the impurity of her monthly period must last 7 days, and anyone who touches her will be unclean till every morning. Anything she lies on during her periods will be unclean, and anything she sits on will be unclean. Whoever touches her bed must wash his clothes and bathe with water, and he will be unclean till evening. Whoever touches anything she sit on must wash his clothes and bathe with water. He will unclean till evening. Whether it is the bed or anything she was sitting on, when anyone touches it, he will be clean till evening. If a man lies with her and her monthly-in-law touches him, he will be unclean for 7 days. Any bed he lies on will unclean. When a woman has a discharge of the blood for any days, many days at a time, when a man has a charge of blood for many days at times of other than her monthly period, or has a discharge that continue beyond the period, she will be unclean as long as she has the discharge. Just as the days of her period, any bed she lies on while her discharge continue to be unclean as is her bed. Any bed that she lies on while her discharge continues to be unclean as is her bed during the monthly period, and anything she sit on, it will be uncleansed. Any bed that she lies on the or discharge continue will be unclean as is bed during a monthly period, and anything she sit on is unclean as during a period. Whoever touches them will be unclean. He must be with the clothes and bathe with water, and he will be unclean till evening. When she is cleansed from her discharge, she must count off 7 days, and on the 8th day she must take 2 doves or 2 young pigeons, must bring them. The priest is to sacrifice one for a sin offering and the other for the burnt offering. In this ways, he will make atonement for her before the Lord for the uncleanness of her discharge. You must keep the Israelites separate from things that make them unclean, so they will not die in their uncleanness. You must keep the Israelites separated so that they will not die in their uncleanness, for the light of whom might dwell in my first grade. These are regulations for the man with the discharge for anyone made unclean by the emissions of semen, for a woman in a jealous foods, these are regulations for a woman and with the discharge for anyone made unclean by the emissions of semen, for a woman in a monthly destroy, for a man, for a boots, and please monthly.